The crack of Dr. Sterling's head hitting the tile wall echoed through the or like a gunshot. Dr. Alastair Bourne, the hospital's most celebrated surgeon, didn't just yell at his resident. He grabbed her by the shoulders and slammed her backward, his face inches from hers, growling, "You worthless piece of—" Welcome to Mr. Bryan's Tale, where every story takes you on an unforgettable journey. Whether it's thrilling adventures, heartwarming moments, or tales that'll keep you on the edge of your seat, this is your destination for captivating storytelling. If you love getting lost in exciting narratives and discovering new worlds with every video, you're in the right place. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss out on the next amazing tale. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Dr. Paula Sterling learned to make herself small. 6 months into her surgical residency at Mercy General, she'd mastered the art of invisibility. Eyes down, voice soft, always agreeing. "Sterling, move faster." Dr. Bourne's voice cut through the or like a scalpel. She scrambled to position the retractor, hands trembling despite her steady surgical training. "Pathetic," he muttered, just loud enough for the team to hear. The nurses exchanged glances. They'd seen this before, seen residents cry in supply closets, transfer to other programs, even leave medicine entirely. Paula had watched 3 residents quit Bourne service. Each time, Director Blackwell offered them generous transfers and made them sign paperwork. Each time, the hospital said nothing publicly. "Dr. Sterling, if you can't keep up, perhaps you're not cut out for surgery." She swallowed the response burning in her throat. Her foster care childhood had taught her survival meant silence. Speaking up got you moved, separated, forgotten. After the procedure, she found the supply closet and counted her breaths. 1, 2, 3. Tomorrow, she'd be smaller, quieter, safer. She had no idea tomorrow would change everything. The emergency code blared at 2:47 a.m., gunshot wound to the chest, patient crashing. "Sterling, you're assisting." Dr. Bourne barked, already gowned. Paula's exhaustion vanished. This was why she'd survived medical school, why she endured the abuse. To save lives. But something was wrong. The patient was decompensating despite intervention. Paula's photographic memory flashed through the CT scan. "Dr. Bourne," she said carefully, "I think there's a second—" "I didn't ask you to think." His voice was ice. "But the trajectory suggests—" "Shut your mouth." She watched him work. Watched him miss it. The second bullet fragment near the pulmonary artery. The monitor screamed warnings. "Dr. Bourne, please." She reached toward the imaging screen. He spun. His hands clamped her shoulders like vices. The world tilted, and her head cracked against the tile wall. Pain exploded behind her eyes. "You worthless piece of trash." His face was inches from hers. "Know your place." The or went silent, except for the patient's failing heartbeat. Above them, unnoticed, the security camera recorded everything. Paula's skull throbbed. Blood trickled from where her head split against the wall. "Out," Dr. Bourne commanded. "You're useless here." She stumbled from the vision blurring. Behind her, she heard him finally order the intervention she'd suggested. The patient would live, no thanks to her silence. In the hallway, Nurse Beatrice Mendez caught her arm. "Imaging. Now." BEA's voice was steel wrapped in compassion. "And don't tell me you're fine." The CT showed a mild concussion. Paula should go home, rest. Instead, she found herself in BEA's office, shaking. "How long have you known?" Paula whispered. 8 years. BEA's eyes held an ocean of regret. "I've seen 12 residents go through what you're experiencing. I documented everything, dates, witnesses, injuries. But no one would listen. Blackwell buries it all." "Then what's the point?" A knock interrupted her. Officer Elias Woodman, head of hospital security, stood in the doorway. His expression was grim. "Dr. Sterling," he said quietly, "I have something you need to see." On his tablet screen, the footage played. Clear, damning, undeniable. "I've been waiting," Woodman said, "for evidence no one could ignore." Paula stared at the footage, watching herself slammed against the wall again and again. "Why show me this?" Her voice cracked. Because tomorrow morning, Woodman said, Director Blackwell is ordering IT to purge the security archives. Storage limitations, she'll claim. But I've seen the emails she knows about this incident. Be leaned forward. Paula, there are 23 formal complaints buried in Blackwell's files. 23 residents whose careers were destroyed or who were paid off. Bourne brings in millions in surgical revenue and donations. The hospital protects him. If I report this, they'll destroy me. They'll try, Woodman agreed, but I've spent 6 months collecting evidence. I'm willing to lose my job over this. B has 8 years of documentation. We need you to be willing to stand up. Paula thought of the foster care system, how silence kept her safe. But she thought too of the patient whose life she'd saved by speaking up, even when it resulted in violence. What do I have to do? Woodman smiled grimly. First, we save this footage. Then we make sure the whole world sees it. Director Doris Blackwell's office overlooked the hospital's healing garden. Ironic, given what happened within these walls. Dr. Sterling, she said with practiced warmth, please sit. Paula remained standing. She'd been summoned at dawn, still dizzy from her concussion. I've reviewed last night's unfortunate incident. Blackwell slid papers across her desk. Dr. Bourne was under immense surgical pressure. He's agreed to a formal apology. In exchange, we're offering you an immediate transfer to Johns Hopkins. Full recommendation. Moving expenses paid. You want me to leave? I want what's best for your career. Her smile didn't reach her eyes. Sign the NDA, accept the transfer, and this unpleasantness disappears. What about the other residents? The ones before me? Blackwell's mask slipped for just a moment. I don't know what you mean. The 23 complaints. The payoffs. The buried documentation. The director's face went cold. Who told you about? She stopped, recalculating. Dr. Sterling, be very careful. Dr. Bourne has powerful friends. Attorneys. Donors. People who can ensure you never practice medicine again. I'm not signing anything. Then you're making a terrible mistake. By noon, Officer Woodman was suspended. Unauthorized surveillance, the memo claimed. Violation of privacy protocols. Paula found him clearing his office, boxes stacked on his desk. They move fast, he said calmly. Blackwell must have suspected I was a source. But she's too late. I backed up everything to external drives last night. I'm so sorry. Don't be. I knew the cost. He handed her a USB drive. Copy of all evidence. Hide it. They'll come for you next. He was right. By evening, Paul was called to HR and placed on voluntary leave for psychological evaluation following her stress-induced breakdown in the OR. Dr. Bourne has expressed concern for your mental health. The HR director said with false sympathy, hospital policy requires assessment before returning to duty. B texted her at midnight. IT is wiping servers now. Security footage being deleted. They're erasing everything. Paula sat in her apartment, USB drive in hand. Woodman's sacrifice. BEA's 8 years of documentation. 23 buried victims. She opened her laptop and started typing. To the state medical board, then stopped. That could take months. She needed something faster. Paula met with Channel 7's investigative reporter in a coffee shop across town. You're sure about this? Jennifer Chin asked, reviewing the footage. Once this airs, there's no going back. There are 23 other residents who had no choice, Paula said. I have evidence. I have witnesses. And I'm done being silent. The story broke at 6 p.m. Celebrated surgeon's dark secret. Hospital security footage reveals pattern of abuse. The footage went viral within hours. Paula being slammed against the wall. Dr. Bourne's contorted face. The audio, you worthless piece of trash. By morning, it had 12 million views. Hospital phone lines melted. The medical board launched emergency investigation. Federal OSHA investigators arrived unannounced, and former residents started coming forward. On Twitter, Instagram, anonymous forums, stories poured out, thrown instruments, public humiliation, physical intimidation. One woman revealed Bourne had shoved her during surgery, causing her to need stitches. Another described years of PTSD. Director Blackwell called an emergency press conference, looking haggard. We take these allegations seriously. But her emails were already being subpoenaed. The evidence of her systematic cover-up would be next. Dr. Alistair Bourne was arrested on hospital grounds, let out in handcuffs past cameras and former colleagues. Assault, battery, workplace violence. Director Doris Blackwell resigned within 48 hours, faced her own investigation for obstruction and conspiracy to conceal workplace abuse. Her emails revealed everything. Buried complaints, intimidated victims, hush money approved. Officer Elias Woodman was reinstated with a commendation for ethical courage. Nurse Beatrice Mendez became the hospital's first director of staff advocacy. Her 8 years of documentation now forming the basis for comprehensive policy reform. And Dr. Paula Sterling? She stood before the state legislature, testifying for a bill requiring independent reporting systems for healthcare workplace violence. I stayed silent because I thought that's what it took to survive, she told the packed chamber. But silence only protects abusers. My voice, our voices, can protect future doctors, nurses, and ultimately patients. The bill passed unanimously. Paula completed her residency at a different hospital, where she was treated with respect and taught with compassion. She became a brilliant surgeon. But more importantly, she became the voice for those still learning to speak up. One person standing up had toppled decades of corruption. 6 months later, Paula stood in a new hospital's trauma bay, teaching first-year residents. Your voice matters, she told them. Question techniques. Speak up for patients. Advocate for yourselves. That's not insubordination. It's excellent medicine. A young resident raised her hand nervously. But what if the attending gets angry? Paula thought of that, or the wall, the pain. Then she thought of 23 residents who'd been silenced, of Woodman's sacrifice, of Bia's 8 years of documentation. Then you document it. You report it. And you know you're not alone. Her phone buzzed. Bia texted a photo. Mercy General's new memorial wall honored healthcare workers who'd shown moral courage. Woodman's name was there. So was Paula's. For standing up when silence was easier. She smiled and pocketed her phone. Dr. Sterling, a nurse called. Multi-trauma incoming. We need you. She snapped on gloves and headed toward the ambulance bay. This was where she belonged. Not invisible. Not silent. Healing. Teaching. Speaking. And ensuring no one would ever have to make themselves small to survive medicine again. Your voice matters too. So what would you do if you witnessed workplace abuse? Would you stay silent to protect your career? Or would you risk everything to stand up? Dr. Paula Sterling chose courage over comfort. Officer Woodman chose justice over job security. Nurse B chose documentation over despair. Together, they prove that one person speaking up can create a ripple effect that changes everything. But here's the truth. There are real Dr. Paula Sterlings in hospitals, corporations, schools, and workplaces everywhere right now. People suffering in silence because they're afraid no one will believe them, because they think speaking up means career suicide, because the system protects the powerful. This story isn't just entertainment. It's a reminder that silence protects abusers, but courage creates change. If this story moved you, inspired you, or made you think differently about standing up against injustice, smash that like button. Your engagement helps this message reach people who need to hear it. Maybe someone suffering right now, or someone who has the power to help. Subscribe to Mr. Bryan's Tale for more stories that don't just entertain, but empower. Stories about ordinary people doing extraordinary things. Stories that remind us we're stronger than we think. And drop a comment below. What would you do in Paula's situation? Have you ever had to choose between staying silent and speaking up? Your story matters. Your voice matters. Remember, you don't have to be fearless to be courageous. You just have to care more about what's right than what's easy. Hit that notification bell so you never miss a story that might change how you see the world. This is Mr. Bryan's Tale, reminding you, stand up, speak out, change the world. See you in the next story. Clapperboard.